Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we got 10 most beautiful. Whoa. Let me run that back there because I pressed play before I got to finish my intro. So what I said was we got 10 most beautiful small towns to visit in France 2024. This is from the channel called Lifestyle How. So original link will be in the description. With that being said, we're smoking all my dragons, divine righteous, almighty greats over achieving, never slacking. I hope everybody out there is just living the dream. You know, when I say that, I mean just finding inner peace. That's the real dream. The real dream and the biggest goals is really that inner peace, no matter what it is you're doing. So I hope nobody's ever slacking on that. Whether that means getting some more rest, whether that means working harder, whether that means, whatever it is that you need to add or subtract from your life in order to find that balance. I hope you're doing that. So with that being said, let's get to France. Here we go.
Welcome back, folks, to a brand new video.
So you're flying into Paris for a city break, but it's left you feeling unfulfilled. But other parts of the country are filled with medieval towns and villages that will take you back to its ancient past. And I think you should visit during the early autumn to spring times to avoid the summers. So let's look at 10 stunning villages to visit in France.
France.
Number 1, Yvoire. Now this is a medieval city built in the early 14th century. Located on the French shore of Lake Geneva, between Geneva and Evian. So while small, the town of Yvoire is packed with history. Known for its restored medieval homes and buildings, the town overlooks Lake Geneva. So you can walk around the town and stop by the remarkable Garden of the Five Senses, which is designed to please all 5 of your senses, such as the colourful and fragrant plants, where you can sometimes pluck the flowers and feel or taste them, if that's your thing. But while touring the town, you can also stop by Yvoire Castle, which was built during the 14th century. Or later on, head down to Lake Geneva for a super cold swim. So Yvoire is a bit of a pain to get to, but you can take a train from Paris to Geneva, which is just over 3 hours. You can then go via the ferry from Geneva to Yvoire, or you can take the bus.
Very nice.
Number 2, Balazuc, France. Now this is a stunning medieval village that's perched on a rocky promontory overlooking the Ardèche River. Now this village is characterized by its narrow cobblestone streets, its ancient golden stone houses, and the medieval castle ruins. In fact, Balazuc has been recognized as one of the most beautiful villages in France. And I think it's due to its historic charm and of course, the scenic location. Now, one of the crowning jewels of Balazuc is its medieval castle, especially as it sits in a stunning location right above the village. And the castle's imposing ruins makes you imagine the lives of the nobles who once called it home. And from the ramparts, you'll gaze upon the Ardèche River, which winds its way through the picturesque countryside below. So this is a great way to go deep into France and explore some villages that don't really get that much tourism. Number 3, Saint-Émilion.
That is very, very nice.
Now just a short 40-minute train ride from Bordeaux, you will find one of the best medieval towns in France. A stunning UNESCO-listed hilltop town, which has a long tradition of winemaking, dating back all the way to the 2nd century when Romans originally planted vines here. So probably the most famous monument of Saint-Émilion is the 12th century monolithic church. And its name suggests it's carved from stone. But while the church itself is well hidden in the rock, its bell tower is standing tall and can be seen from every spot in the town. If you're interested in architecture, the tower is a fascinating monument by itself. Number 4. Vogüé, France. Now this is another delightful village that's nestled right in the heart of the Ardèche region. A blend of rustic beauty and riverside charm. It's perched gracefully on the banks of the Ardèche River, and it's a very picturesque escape that stands out for its individuality. Wandering through the winding streets, you'll feel that authentic ambience of a rural French village. Traditional stone houses.
I'm getting Pinocchio vibes. That reminds me of Pinocchio, which when I was a kid I used to act in. One of the performances I was in was, well, actually my brother was in Pinocchio. I was in The Wizard of Oz, but yeah, I remember Pinocchio.
Line the lanes, each with its own story to tell. Now, one of the distinctive features is its ancient bridge that spans the Ardèche River, connecting the villages to the surrounding countryside. The bridge's arches and views of the river add that unique element to your holiday. So it may not have a medieval castle like its neighbouring villages, but its simplicity and its unspoiled beauty are its trademarks. Number 5. Gordes. So this is a picturesque hilltop medieval French village that's located in the heart of Provence. In its early existence, Romans occupied the area, leaving behind columns, theatres, and artifacts in the surrounding landscapes. But Gordes is not a big destination, but quite a small yet charming place instead. So when you do visit, which is 55 minutes by car or far longer if you're taking public transport, you can even see all of the village in a day. To be frank, Gordes has nothing adventurous to do, but wanderlust is the thing that will be satisfied. You will fill your cameras with photos. So if you love discovering details and exploring off the beaten path destinations, Gordes can be the place you're looking for. Number 6. Dinan. Dinan in Brittany is defined by its charming half-timbered houses. The town, which sits along the river, is how you would literally visualize a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, slightly dark and steeped in history with hidden mysteries. So as I mentioned, the town stands on the river with its medieval walls dating back to the 11th century, surviving several attacks from the English. Therefore, many buildings today you will see date back several hundred years. But there's one picturesque street which transports you from the top of the town to the port area along the river, and it's easily one of the best places to visit in Brittany. And if you are planning to visit the Brittany region, the perfect base would be to stay in Dinan. Number 7. Èze. Now this is a wonderful seaside commune in the Côte d'Azur region in southeastern France. So besides its many beaches, there are plenty of other places to see while in this medieval seaside town. For instance, the Nietzsche Path is a really difficult trail that winds through the local cliffs and gives panoramic views of the sea. Now the distance is around 5 kilometers, and there's a sign at the bottom of the path at sea level that basically lets you know it can take about an hour and a half to complete uphill. So be warned, it is very steep. I'm talking.
That's what I like. I like a challenge. I really feel like if I was to ever go to like one of these places, I don't know if I would ever come back to America. I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, I'd probably come back to visit, but I know I wouldn't want to live out here anymore. I just know it.
Sweat levels. But once you're there, there's also the botanical garden, filled with exotic plants. And as I said, you get some wonderful panoramic views of the sea.
Woo! Look at that!
Number 8. Charroux, France. Now this is a medieval town with a rich past, and it's listed among the most beautiful villages of France. It reminds me of Aix in the south of France, and I've mentioned France 4 times in the first 10 seconds. And you will find ancient houses, a 12th century church, a bell tower, a clock tower, market halls with wooden pillars, residences with timber frames from the 14th century, and fortified doors and wells. So if you really like wandering through charming villages and finding small trinkets and artistic products, this is another place to head to, which is in central France.
Your father knows about saving money.
I bet you people back in those days could take a lot of the stuff that we have now and build something magnificent out of it. Like stuff, like just wood that we have laying around. I bet they know how to do something now. Blow our minds away. Us in the West, at least.
Number 9. Le Poët-Laval. Le Poët-Laval, a picturesque village in the southeastern region of France, where time seems to have stood still in the medieval era. No cars, no traffic, just a peaceful atmosphere. The cobbled side streets lined with old houses, a nice place for a stroll. It's full of charm and authenticity. So it's no surprise that it's listed as one of the most beautiful villages in France. Founded in the 12th century by the Order of St. John, and back then a castle stood at the top of the village. But now a keep and ramparts are all that remain. So there's a hotel with quite a decent restaurant and only an hour's ride from Valence, which seemed like the easiest route to get there. Number 10. Mont Saint-Michel.
Population
now this
50.
is indeed a medieval architectural marvel. It's a small rocky island located in Normandy, France, and is well known for its stunning abbey perched atop the island's highest point. The abbey, which dates back to the 8th century, is a prime example of medieval architecture, and it's renowned for its Gothic design. The island and its abbey have a very rich history, once a strategic stronghold and a centre of medieval pilgrimage. So of course, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site today, and a very popular tourist destination. But upon reflection, it reminds me of how amazing the past builders were, and what they may think of how the world looks today. And there you have it, folks. Those were some stunning villages for you to visit in the new year. Let me know if you do happen to visit one of these locations. I want to hear the stories and what you think. Try to avoid all the major cities this year, and I will see you all on the next one.
Beautiful. Those views looking over into the sea. Oh, man. If y'all hear that dog barking in the back, it's because I am pet sitting. I am working while I'm working. So if y'all do hear that, don't mind it. But wow, that's all I'm gonna say. Just amazing. Like I said, it reminded me of Pinocchio. I was getting Pinocchio vibes, and I want to say Dino is the village, maybe, or Dinan. I'm not sure. That might have been a village. It was one of those villages I seen Pinocchio vibes. But hold on real quick. I'm looking for... That's what I'm looking for. Right there. Let's go. Woo! The meditations. Woo. I just don't see how somebody can... I mean, if you're used to it, I guess it's like whatever. But someone like, from where I'm from, I just don't see how you could get up and look out and see that every day and just be miserable, unless the water was like toxic, right? Because I believe toxic water, when you live next to a toxic body of water, then the whole environment would be toxic. But those waters out there seem to be clear, healthy, beautiful, and not abused at all. So, whew, it's just so nice. I feel like a lot of people like me, for example, who are so interested in these different places, probably in past lives done lived in these places. And I feel like that's why I be attracted to them so much. Seriously, when I watch these, it's not everybody can sit and just watch stuff like this. Not everybody people care about so much other stuff. Like, this stuff actually makes me happy. This stuff actually gets me excited. I love travel. It's amazing. But just looking at how people even lived back in the day and seeing how well preserved so much of the structures and buildings are is very, very impressive. I love it. I wonder what it would be like just having a day walking around, one of these beautiful small towns. I wonder how people would react to me. I wonder how they would take to seeing me. I'm a very kind person, but I'm curious to that. If I was walking around, I'm curious. I wonder how people would take to me. But like I stated earlier, if I was to go to any of these beautiful places out in England, France, I really don't think I'd want to come back like that. I don't. It's too much nonsense. I mean, there's nonsense going on everywhere, but yeah. With that being said, beautiful small towns. I love small towns. Small towns are gold to me. They're gold. A lot of people like to run to the big cities. A lot of people like to go and, go to the most popular spots. I like the small towns. Those are cool too, but I feel like you find the most hidden gems and the most beautiful people in the small towns. So with that being said, that was 10 most beautiful small towns to visit in France in 2024. And did you see? I'm actually going into a trance just looking at this. See, if I can feel how I'm feeling now, looking at this image, could you imagine how I would feel if I was up close and personal? It's just very nice. I guess like the biggest question for me personally is what I said earlier, as far as I wonder how people would take to me. I wonder if people would be kind. That's really, I guess that's the main thing I think when I go anywhere. I've traveled to pretty much every state in the United States, and everywhere I go, I guess that's something that always goes through my mind, because people be very judgmental, and there's a lot of people who have they're just being stuck in their ways. So, I don't know, and it was so much going on with, they beefing with immigrants, and I don't know if they would look at me a certain way. But as far as just how it looks, jaw dropping, beautiful, beautiful. Y'all got gold out there in France, seriously. So with that being said, I will see y'all soon. Everybody enjoy your day, and much love to you all. Stay happy.